Welcome back to Jeremiah Wonders, and thank you so much to everyone who's been subscribing to the new Stand Up on the Spot YouTube channel. We just dropped a new episode there last night with Mike Falzone, Jamar Neighbors, and Adam Ray. It's a good one. Check it out right after you check out this episode. And come see me on tour, why don't ya? March 6th, I'm headlining the Hollywood Improv with Jesse Jetski Johnson, Joel Jimenez, and myself. It's going to be a great time. And then Huntington Beach, the Rec Room, I'm going to be there March 11th. Then you can see some Stand Up on the Spot tapings on March 14th. I'm also going to be in Houston and Austin doing Stand Up on the Spot tapings. And then come see me headline doing stand-up comedy in Kansas City, Las Vegas, as well as some other places as well. Tickets at JeremiahWatkins.com. But most importantly, March 21st on this YouTube channel, my new 1-hour special, Daddy, premieres. March 21st, mark your calendars. It's going to be a fun one. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now let's get into this awesome episode with my brother, Steve Rannazzisi, on Jeremiah Wonders. Swinging ham bones.
Heavy bags.
Jello pudding sacks.
Fun-filled adventures.
Scrumptious Sallies.
Gotta get them.
Get in there. Ooh. Land ahoy, no thank you. I'll go in the deep sea diving over here. I think that's a good sound check.
They make me smile.
They do.
They always make me smile.
Even ones that are on ladies that are older, they still put a smile on your face.
You know she had a good time at some point, and she put a lot of smiles on people's faces.
And maybe she has back problems now, but we're not concerned about that.
Have you been to Ireland?
One time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not the best looking females.
But
babongas.
Really?
Yeah. More than the, like, it's almost on average to have
small ones there?
Small ones there.
Do you think it's to compensate for the haggard?
It's like, guys, eyes down here.
Yeah. Keep your eyes up off the shepherd's pie.
And part of London, too. Part of London.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yes. I feel like a lot of heavy-breasted women there as well. I don't know if it's like a...
If you're a heavy-breasted woman, leave a comment.
If you've got heavy globes, send them to me. I'll prove it.
I'll let you know whether or not they're big or not.
Yeah, I want to see them.
Yeah.
I'm like the police.
Yeah.
I got to make sure.
You got to investigate. You got to make sure that there's proper criteria to file them properly.
Is it real or not real?
Has that ever been a factor for you?
No. Well, yeah, I do prefer like real.
Natural. You almost said natural.
I don't really
right?
I don't even actually like the unnatural. But then again, I'm talking about the unnatural ones that look like, remember from the 80s, that was like banga. Like they look like
I saw a butt last night at the Comedy Store. Have you seen these fake butts?
Wait a minute. Fake butts being like someone had a surgery
like
or
an
like
implant.
Or like one of those pants that, like, you know, the ladies wear sometimes, the Spanx that add in the jelly in the back.
This had to have been fake.
Really?
It had to have been, because it bowed out so far outside of the hips where I was like, there's no way this is natural.
Can we break down ethnicity?
Uh-huh. It was a black woman.
Okay.
But it was so unnatural. She was thick.
Yeah.
She was a thick girl. But it was like she got an implant on top of being thick.
Really?
It bowed out so far.
I guess you can get away with it because you think like no one's gonna, like, because, you know,
no one's gonna question it.
No one's gonna question that.
Yeah, but she could have been a black girl that was born with a flatter butt.
Yeah.
That was like, I need to work on this.
Same thing with black guys, I'm sure, like penile implants. I'm sure it happens on black guys once in a while.
Do you think it's more common for penile implants on black guys than white guys because they're having to live up to the hype?
I think the pressure's more for them.
Yeah.
They probably are like, damn, dude.
Why was I not blessed?
Yeah, especially like if you had like the body, if you had other physical attributes that would lend you like to believe that this is going to be a unit, and then you just come up way short.
Sure.
Pardon the pun.
If you're a super tall guy
and you just got a little schmeckle.
Yeah.
A little thimble.
Did you ever see that Brendan Fraser movie where he is given wishes by the devil?
No.
By Elizabeth Hurley. He wishes to be like this famous person, but like there's always a catch with every wish that comes along. And he ends up becoming this 7'6" basketball NBA phenom, and girls groupies come to the changing room, or to the locker room. Why am I calling it changing? Good grief.
Fellas, everybody pile into the changing room and let us know how many items you have before you go in there. Okay? Hang a number on the door.
Are there 10 of you in here, or are there less? What's going
fellas.
on? Easy, fellas.
One at a time.
I call locker rooms changing rooms now.
No problem.
Even though I played sports my entire life.
That's okay.
Had a big old brain fart. But he pulls down his shorts and he has like no penis almost. It's like a micro penis. So, and all the girls start laughing at him. And he's like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even think micro penis, not that I know, but they're like, there's not much they can do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, do you ever see like,
there's nothing to
if
work
there's nothing
with?
there, it's like, well, what are we going to add to it? Like, it's going to fall off.
What if they're like, we're going to have to dig up one of my brothers. I need a skin graft. I need a transplant to extend.
If you had micro dong, right?
Yeah.
And the option was there to get so God forbid someone passes away in a tragic accident and they're an organ donor and they want to let go of their hog. They had a hog, and you can have it.
As an organ donor, you don't get to pick what you donate.
You don't.
It's just a blanket organ donor. You're not like, I'm just donating my eyes to science.
It's whatever whatever they can harvest from you.
Yes.
Which, by the way, I heard is why you should never put that down in your license, because I heard the paramedics won't bring you back to life. That could be the pessimistic
There's
East
no
Coast
way that's
part.
real.
I'm just saying, I've heard it where it's like, I know a lot of my family members and friends are like, oh no, you can have but I'm never writing it on the license, because I know they'll look at it and they go, well, let them. They won't try their hardest, because it's like, well, look at this fresh, Like we got eyes, we got a liver in there.
Like they're like, yeah, actually, walk closer to that light.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You.
No.
Hey, we don't
even know what's over here. You go that way.
We're kind of low right now on a couple things back at the hospital. I mean,
guys, come on.
We could use a couple kneecaps.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This guy's wallet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's just what I heard. But wait, what were we talking about before that?
I mean, you said, God forbid, if somebody was...
they would... my relatives would never put it on their thing. But I would say if a person could have another person's penis... a man could have another man's penis put on that's like... and looks like yours, but it's just like a... Would you do it? You might think about it. I would think about it. If it was like... if I got it cut off in an accident or something like that? Yes. Or if it's even like micro-dongish, where you're like, cut it off medically and slide this piece on.
Is it like a twin thing where they're feeling what you feel like from beyond the grave, or you have past memories? Like when you start having sex, you go back into like a flashback of like times that they had sex as well?
You can't even control this penis.
What?
Okay. First couple days, it comes back to life.
Crazy.
Right? You're having sex with your girlfriend. She's like, this is magical. It's all I've ever wanted.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, you wake up and you're being dragged around the house. You don't even know what is jostling you around.
It's putting itself into your hand at inconvenient times because it wants to get pleasured.
It's getting you into the car.
Yeah.
And it's just it's making
going
you
to
drive
the whorehouse downtown
to the bucket of blood bar where you can just get a biker girl, and then you're driving, you have your hands on the wheel, but it just jerks you down and it starts to manipulate, get me going, so that I'm ready to go when I get there.
You're jerking, you're driving,
and you're like, what's happening here? And 2 days later, you're in a desert, and that thing's sucking water out of the bottom of the cactus. Who knows what happened?
This is like, there's a movie called Idle Hands.
Okay.
There's an 80s movie that it was a hand that like a guy lost control of his hand.
Yeah.
This is like the porno version of that movie.
It is.
And it's fascinating. I think people would be into it.
People, first of all, if it's shot correctly, people will be into it. Okay? If it's got the right people in it,
right,
aka pornography actors, they'll watch it.
But if you make it funny, you could actually make it like a feature.
Yeah.
And people might actually be like, oh, this is a comedy, right?
Face off, cock off. Like, exactly.
Yes. Dude, can Nicolas Cage still be in this one?
He would do it.
He would.
That's the
at
best
this
part.
Point. He would totally do it at this point.
Just for the point of being like, I was in the star of Face Off and Cock Off, and I was brilliant in both of them.
Do you think that the line that he would that John Travolta would still do that line? I want to take. What's it on the other? Off. I want to take his.
Oh, I could, dude.
I mean, when can we start pitching this, Steve?
I think we already have.
Okay.
Either that or we're going to get a serious copyright infringement bang from someone who's like,
yeah.
Cock Off was written in 1987 and before Face Off
I'm
was.
actually the screenplay writer of Cock Off, and I really don't appreciate.
Got over 3 billion hits.
I don't know. The Rotten Tomato meter is actually, the reviews are in, and my screenplay is absolutely undeniable.
Okay, the commenting on pornography videos, that. Okay, I get that to a certain extent.
Do you though?
No, I don't. But I do more than the other thing. Sharing. The sharing.
The share button?
You know, like the little thing that's got like the share symbol.
It's like the arrow.
Yeah, it's like, hey man, take this thing off somewhere else. Yeah. And what pops up, the Facebook, Instagram, mail, this and that, and you're like,
yeah.
What? Wait a minute. Who's like watching that and like, dude.
You know who would like this?
Fucking Phil's got to see this.
Phil's got to see this.
Because his grandmother likes to do that, I heard. So, whatever about that's, to me, I'm like, that's the line where I was like, oh, this has become a very dangerous thing.
It's got to be, that share button has to be for text messages exclusively. There's no way that's being sent in an email or like maybe an Instagram DM or something like that, but there's no way it's being sent. Like, it can't be shared on a Facebook wall or like a Twitter. Maybe Twitter, I guess. Twitter's wide open now.
By the way, let me tell you something. If they were smart, Twitter, Instagram, they would allow it because they have 5 times more viewers on Pornhub in these places than Twitter and Instagram do.
But do they lose their ads as soon as like?
I have no idea about that. But then I thought, who's the person that's learning about Instagram or Facebook via porn? Has never heard of it. They're like, they get this porn. You're like, all right, wait, Instagram.
What is this F with a circle?
Is this a new porn site I haven't heard about before? And they start scrolling around.
They think that Pornhub is social media.
Yeah, they're like, wait a minute.
Like that's where they get all their news and stuff.
I did think about the sharing thing.
This new Ant-Man movie is weird.
It's very strange.
It's very odd.
We did share. Growing up, like if you had, I don't know, did you ever have like a porn magazine or something like that a couple people like that you shared because that was like sharing food.
I didn't share it with anybody, but I had a binder.
A binder?
I had a binder.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Did you have to put the pictures you slid them into pages that were into those 3 clip things?
Yeah. So I had a folder, like a big old binder and a folder that I would put things in there.
Okay.
And I would clip them. It was never full on porn because I grew up too religious where I was like, there's too much guilt associated with that. But
I got to be able to explain this away somehow or another. You're like, if it's not porn of full blown nudity, I feel like I can be like, look,
I was doing
this looks weird, but here's what happened.
Here's what actually happened. I was doing a vision board and you know whatever. So my sister would have her magazines back in the day, like there were like these like the pop star teen magazines and stuff like that. And my brother had FHM, and he had some of those other ones that were like way more risque.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Where it's just like, see through the swimsuit and that kind of thing. And I'd clip those out or tear the pages out, and I had a binder. It was my jerk-off binder.
You grew up in that FHM mag. Like I'm before you, so I'm 46 now, so I'll be like in that era of like we had Playboy or Hustler, Find Your Dad stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
My uncle had stashes in his basement. I'd sometimes go down there and I'd see the stacks of Playboys, and I'd just be like, I just have to like walk by it. I'm like, it's too much.
Dude, our friend Kevin's dad Chet had so much in the basement, and he was just so lazy, and he would never come down there when we were down there, but he would just yell, "Stay out of my stuff!" Like just Kevin, keep your kids out of my stuff. Like he knew. He didn't say what the stuff was. He didn't need to.
Yeah.
We didn't have to ask what the stuff was.
You could tell by
we
the
knew
inflection
what it
in
was.
his voice.
Yeah. So he had like 3 or 4 porn tapes and some magazines and stuff that we'd all thumb through. So I guess that was our version of sharing it, which is kind of gross, but it's the only thing we had.
Yeah.
Like I don't if I have a video, if I see something on the internet, right? I don't ever feel the need to be like, well, he has to see it. Like,
right.
If you stumble upon it, that's your, like, everyone has their own journey at this point.
Sure.
So,
did you ever have a friend who would make a mixtape or anything like that?
Yeah.
Like best
Me?
of like montage? You would make the montages?
I loved hard.
Yeah?
Yeah. So my move in like 5th grade, I had a girlfriend, Heather Henrich. She broke up with me. I was devastated. So the 2 moves I pulled, by devastated, I mean devastated, Jeremiah. On the floor of my bathroom crying. Belinda Carlisle circles
And how
in the
old
sand.
were you when you
5th grade, so 10 years old. Wow. And so, just crying. And so the next day I stole my mom's perfume that was already open, half a bottle, and I brought it to her and I was like, you must take me back. Right? And she was like, that's the weirdest thing. That's, as you would.
Did it have one of those squishy things that you...
No, it was like
the pump things?
Oh, yes, with the little spritzer on the side.
Yeah.
With the little... Yeah, like the Reebok pump for ladies.
Yes. My mom had one of those.
So you just
like
get
a
the right
frilly
amount.
thing.
You don't mess it up. It was
Right.
like for the women who are too... Oh, how do I work these hands?
Oh,
so
what
it's just
are these things?
For you dainty ladies, just... So that didn't work. And then the next move, of course, is the mixtape.
Yeah.
The love mixtape of all like the Chicago, Foreigner, what else? Like the hard love songs. I mean, I didn't get to listen to my own music growing up in the car. Like my mom listened to...
What did she commandeer
she was
the
like
radio?
Anne Murray, yeah. So
Okay.
I listened to like Canadian sad music and like Gordon
Oh.
Lightfoot, like...
Dude, my dad loves Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah. So, and they were happy people, my parents, but it was just good. If you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts would tell. It was going to be calming in the car.
Sure.
Because it was never calm and it was always at a boiling point. So if the music was calm, and then even at that music, it would be, if you got to a point, it was like, all right, where are we going? Turn the music down. It's like, is Gordon Lightfoot...
Is that really
what's throwing
off?
us off the dynamic, or is it Dad's crazy Italian temper?
My dad would get that way with anytime we would turn on a dome light in the car, he would flip out.
Because you're going to leave it on.
Well, I guess we're going to leave it on.
And drain the fucking battery.
Drain the battery, and then
as
he's
a
like,
parent
I can't see.
As a parent now, okay, driving the car. That makes sense. But as a parent now, as soon as you said that, I go, I would have fucking murdered you if you left that dome light on. Because I know... my dingbat kids, like they leave a dome light on, they're checking something, and they never turn it off. We all get out of the car, and next thing you know, I go out, and the battery's dead because you left the fucking dome light on.
Yep.
I've come home before from sets
and saw the dome light.
The dome light. I've seen the back doors to my wife's car open.
Just open?
Open with a squirrel inside, eating whatever remnants were in the fucking house.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, dude. I live in the suburbs, so like, it's wild. Like, I wasn't fearing like they had been murdered. I was like, what? I knew what happened. Those two, the idiots got out of the back and they just assumed somebody else was going to close the door.
Yeah,
both doors were just left open. They went in the house.
Wow.
And there's 2 squirrels in there eating the fries on the floor or whatever's left over.
What did you say to those squirrels? Did you say something like
I got my move? You want to know my move?
I want to know your move.
I faked the snake, dude. Okay, here's my thought.
Fake the Snake, one of my favorite wrestlers.
Yeah, Fake the Snake, cousin of Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
My thought is all animals fear snakes. Okay. Because why? They're dangerous predators and they have no arms or legs. So it's like, they're fucking vicious.
It's hard to wrestle them. It's nearly impossible.
And if they could have venom, so no one knows, even animals.
Yeah.
So if I give a right. Dude, this, by the way, has been a move I've used, and my wife laughs at me because I fake the snake on anything, dude. Anything.
Have you done this with other animals in the past?
I tried to do it one time. We were camping with a bear. I thought I heard a bear. I go, that's got to be a bear. And I try to do the meanest snake.
Yeah.
It's scary, dude. My heart rate right now is
dude, through the roof.
You don't know what's gonna happen. I could have venom
at any point.
I could. Some of them spray venom. Where they could you like a gleek?
Gleeking. Yes. I was just about to ask you if you could gleek.
That's what the fucking snakes do.
Yeah,
they'll gleek venom at you.
So what happened with the squirrel?
It ran away
immediately.
No, it finished up the fries. It was like, what? What are you, a fucking fat
Flips
snake?
You off.
Yeah, it's like
little finger.
Yeah, fuck you.
What happened with the bear then?
Oh, the bear. And there was no bear, dude. There was no bear. There was really never.
I bought it.
Never
I was
a threat
in the
of
woods
bear.
with you. I bought
There's never a threat of bear.
right away.
But it is my outdoor nature, like scare. Like that's my move.
Yeah.
Right away. Fake the snake.
Fake the snake.
Yeah.
Hashtag fake the snake in the comments, guys.
Yep, please.
You should use it. I might use that.
Let me know if you fake the snake successfully. I'm
going to try to fake the snake with my son sometime to see what he does.
I mean, look, by the way, I'm petrified of snakes. So that's probably why it works so effectively on my own psyche.
If I were to bring out a snake right now and try to put it on you, what would you do?
Here's what, in the second you just said that, what my mind doesn't work that fast. Not as fast as it used to. I immediately thought, you've called my wife, you've found out my weakness, and this is an elaborate thing where something's going to pop out of here. And I truly, bro, will have a fucking heart attack and die on your show. Hashtag fake the snake. Hashtag Steve dies here. Hashtag Jeremiah Wonders. But it is my fear. It is like, it's a non-negotiable, like.
Well, you've got some things with like your stomach too, right? You puke easy, right?
Well, there's some stuff I don't like to.
Because you've done, the reason why I asked on your podcast, you guys have done some gnarly things on your podcast.
Yeah.
On like Punch Drunk over the years and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it's been like here's the deal. I can deal with, like, we bleached Ari's butthole and that smell and stuff, and I got sick to my stomach that way. So it's like mostly fecal stuff. But like, if I'm like, we're chatting like this, and then all of a sudden, like, it'll be like, oh, we have a new video, and Teebs will pull up a video of like the most disgusting scat, porn, vomit stuff, and I don't handle that stuff well. So I have like bad gag reflex when it comes to that, and they'll be incessant with it, and it makes, like, I'm not great with that stuff. I'm really not, like, I'm never meant to be a doctor or a hero or anyone in a position where it's like, dude, forget all the blood and guts. We've got to deal with this. Like, it's going to be real hard for me to put all that stuff aside. I'm not great with anything. Like, none of it, dude.
I see you even like processing it right now.
My mouth is getting a little.
Well, here.
My mouth, yeah.
Cheers.
My son backed up the toilet 2 days ago, and we're staying at a friend's house.
As a dad, and me as a new dad, I've been pretty good over these last almost 2 years now of when there is his poop and stuff like that I can kind of compartmentalize and shut off that part of my brain. But every once in a while, it'll hit me out of nowhere where I'm like, I can't freaking even look at this.
It's the difference between like with the baby to kid poop, and now my 14-year-old has human poop. They're like mine.
Yeah.
So he goes, I backed it up. And we're staying at a friend's house, and they're out, beautiful, that they just built. So I have to go ask them for a plunger. You know, that's a real nice thing to do. So they hand me like a little plunger, like it's got a cup like this. So I'm like,
it looks like a prop
half
plunger.
Hour, I was like, this isn't gonna work. I had to go walk to the hardware store to buy that big old black one with the coils.
Oh no!
And get in there. And so my move is, I hold a garbage pail with a bag in it, and I'll do it, right? Because you got to look once in a while to see if you're effectively getting a suction, but I'll dry heave into the thing. And the move then is, right, clean everything up, the bag goes into that, all the bag, and then the garbage goes out. So I don't know if we've lost every listener now because of this, because it might be as disgusting as other people as it is to me.
You're a good dad if he's 14 and you didn't have him figure it out.
You know what, dude? I am not a good dad. I should have had him do that. I forget that he's fucking 14
If he was
now.
14, like 14, like
he just turned 14 like 2 weeks ago.
I would have been like. Here's the thing. I understand. This is what I would have done.
It wouldn't have been done right, dude. By the way, the shit water would have been slopped out everywhere.
Oh, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to think about. You want to give the lesson.
I'm being judgmental. I'm sorry. I put myself in your shoes for a second. I'm like, I think I would have done this.
Trust me.
It's a hypothetical that's like, that's a hard one because if you're at a fancy friend's house and you don't want, stuff sloshing around and stuff like that.
Because who do you think is going to clean that up? My wife.
Twist.
Plot
Curveball.
You didn't see that coming, did you? No, I mean, it would have been worse than, like, he would have been like, oh, I fixed it, but only because he slopped all the water out of it, but the drain is still, clogged. So,
dude, next time you got to break the snake. You got to make sure that it goes down.
Could you imagine if the plumber's like, you probably need to snake this thing out? And I'm like, all right, I got that. I just stand over the toilet. I'm like,
oh, not that? Okay, perfect.
A different snake. Got it. My bad.
Dude, I love that you're in town visiting. When you recently moved to the East Coast.
I did. Back to the East Coast, yeah.
Back to the East Coast.
That's where I grew up.
That's where you grew up.
Yeah.
And I loved having you stand up on the spot last night, dude.
Oh, that was a blast.
That was so freaking fun.
And I'm sure people have blown that smoke up your ass before because you've been doing the show a while. But it is so much fun because the freedom, I was telling you on the way here, the freedom of being able to do that, which you don't get to do that often, and having the audience be like down for it right away and being like, this is why they came.
Right.
You want to try to do that stuff when you can on the road here and there, but
the table's not really set for it out there.
Sometimes people just want to hey, just give me the jokes. I don't really want to be a part of this thing. And I get that sometimes too, but it is fun when people are like, oh no, we want to be there. And they're not doing it like you set it up well. It's not like the shittiest suggestions or the cackiest bullshit. It's like
I try to cleanse that at the tops to make sure that like by the time that the other comics are out on stage, they're just getting quality stuff.
Yep.
Obviously that's what's kind of the curveballs of the shows. Every once in a while you'll be like, oh, well, that was a horrible suggestion, but sometimes somebody makes gold out of it triggering something completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even when I was sitting there, you were on stage, a couple of the suggestions you got, I started thinking about things I would have said had I been up there. Yeah. And then one of them, I was like, oh, that would have been really great or whatever. And I'm like, I'll just think about that anyway as my own certain thing,
Yeah.
So it was perfect.
Yeah.
And that's what I guess the story used to feel like a lot because number one, there wasn't really anyone in the audience.
Sure.
So it was less like, give me a suggestion and more like, I'm going to talk about whatever the fuck I feel like talking about, even randomly on my own. And I don't really care about how it goes because it doesn't really, this isn't like something that is high stakes.
Would you say that you were, when you were working at the store back in the day, it was more like the inmates running the asylum kind of vibe?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Dude, I went to pick up my check last night. The office looks like an NSA office, like someone that like you would check in at like a high-end security office at a.
They've cleaned it up so much. I mean, it's night and day difference from what it used to be.
I want to tell a story, but I'm trying to. Well, I can tell it. So there used to be a manager of the Comedy Store. You know Tommy, right?
Of course.
Right?
The former talent coordinator.
Yes, the former talent coordinator, right? Who had a lot of
opinions?
Opinions. Certainly about certain people and certain races, right?
Uh-huh.
So one night, we were closing up and no wait, hold on. I got to work the next day and I go, how was everything last night closing up? Because I had left early. I was the door guy. He goes, not good. Not good at all. I go, what happened? He goes, well, Tony left the back door open to the office, right? And then the door out to the parking lot. And any I'm running in and just take all the money and run out. I go, what? He goes, yeah, any crafty come right in here. I go, what the hell did you just say? And he goes, yeah, they're crafty. I go, what? I was like, are you kidding me right now? Are you like, and he's like, yeah, they left it right open to the door. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I don't think that's the problem, Tommy. I don't think that's the problem at all.
Do you know what he said to me one time? That was,
let's hear it.
Yeah, no. I was standing by the front box office booth, and he goes, you know, guys like us, it's our time.
Yep, guys.
And
it always starts with.
I go, what do you mean? He
Come
goes,
here. Let me put my arm around you.
Come here.
Come here, Whitey.
He goes, you, Brendan Biddlecombe, the blondes. It's our time. I'm like, what the frick?
Yep.
Insane.
Yes.
Absolute insanity.
I know, and I was like, dude, you're yelling like that. So to my point, number one, the safety. By the way, he was right. The door was wide open.
Yeah.
The money was right there.
So Hinchcliffe left it open?
No, Tony, the back bartender. Remember
gotcha.
Boston Tony?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he left the bar open, and then he forgot to bring the money to the. So the door from the office was open that you can go straight out to the parking lot.
Yeah.
Whatever, dude. There was no fucking money to steal anyway. Half of it was in Tommy's pocket anyway.
Yeah.
So I was just baffled by his openness, and so when you said, "Did the inmates run the asylum?" I'm like, very much so. Because that was like shouted, where I was like, I'm looking over my shoulder, like, is this
for any like
what?
Yeah,
this
people
is crazy.
checking in, like,
yeah, dude,
like nobody's taking notes, like on human. There's no HR there.
But I guess to my point, Tommy would be happy now because you need like a hand pad key to get into the back,
There you go.
to the office. So.
See,
well,
it's all
they hated my words. Okay,
it's what I envisioned for the store.
Yeah, an artist colony. With whites.
Who were the other door guys? And I'm sure you've covered this on some other podcasts, but some of the listeners would probably love to hear some of the other guys that you're working with and stuff like that. When you
so when I
the
got
store.
there, the head door guy, like that was there 5 nights a week, was Harris Pete.
Okay.
Which I don't know. You ever got to meet him?
I don't think I met Harris. No.
I think he was in the documentary. I think he might have been in the documentary. I just saw a picture of him. You wouldn't even. Ari sent me a picture of him, and he's like, "Who's that?" Like, when someone sends you a picture and goes, "Who's that?" You're like, "Oh, I'm supposed to know who that is," and I have no fucking idea who that is.
Yeah,
he looks completely different now. He was a kind of heavier. He's kind of skinny now. He's got a long beard, but he was the door guy there, and he was one of the guys that got there in the like mid '70s, and he became friends with Letterman and Leno, and sort of that was his class, and it was like one for all for one, and then they shot off, and he continued to work there. So he was miserable.
Was he one of the demeanor of the guys who like all my friends are making it and like that kind of vibe?
No, it wasn't like fuck those guys, fuck them. It was just like not miserable like I didn't get my chance and this and that. It's just like I didn't make it. That's that, but I'm not fucking I'm not happy.
I'm not thrilled about it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like this isn't like I'm not here because for the love of the fucking game.
Sure.
It's like this is my poor choice, career choice. Here's where I am. And I'm going to try to make as much money out of this shit box as I possibly can. And there's no need to make friends, and there's no need to be nice to people. Nobody comes here anyway. I don't care if people come here. This means nothing, like, to me as a, like it is his home. If it was nothing, he wouldn't have anywhere else to go. But like, I don't think he thought of it like that. So
that's good for business.
So he was the main
store.
guy, and then everybody else was just like us, like comics trying to become comics, And so we took, like it was my class for who were the door guys at. Ari was already working the cover booth and the phones, and he was helping Duncan. Duncan Trussell was the talent coordinator. Mm-hmm. So his job was to talk to Mitzi every day. But yeah, Rick Ramos, myself, Jason Lucas, Steve Simone was like sort of doing the door here and there. And then the comics that that just got passed were Caparulo and Ernst and Sebastian. So they were like just getting spots.
Yeah.
Just getting spots, barely getting spots. So yeah, we completely ran that place. Like we didn't even we didn't have people to start the show at 9. You had to have 3 people to start the show, not 2, 3. Because Mitzi, I'm like, 2? Could we do 2 mitts? No, a couple could leave, and then we have no one.
Oh.
I was like, all right, well, I guess.
That's interesting way of thinking. I mean, it makes sense.
And she was right, because sometimes a couple would come, right? They'd have a drink, sometimes 2 drinks, but we couldn't start the show, and they were like, we're going to leave. And then I have to fuck, you know?
You had to reset.
Wait for another 3.
Ones.
Yeah, so there were many days like that we couldn't even start. So, like, what did you do with the time? We would fucking throw footballs around. We would go up to the roof and launch water balloons. We would, Dice filmed a whole TV show, basically. Like I would be working the cover booth. And on like a Thursday, at some point, someone would come in. At some point, I need to do business.
Yeah.
And he'd send like Fat James over. He'd come over. Dice needs you right now. I go, what? He goes, hey, it's your scene. You're in the kitchen. Got to go right now. I'm like, dude, I got to like seat these people. He's like, and I would just hear, Tay, let's go. It's time. Put it down. And I'd have to run to the back.
What were these scenes? Like what?
Okay. Wheels told you another lie. Like it was like Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Like,
and then so you be thrown into it and just.
You're very upset. Your wife just called. She wants you to come home because she said, and because Wheels went over there earlier. Go. I'm like, Wheels, what are you doing? That was it. And Andrew would be laughing off the side, holding the camera.
So what did he end up doing with all that footage?
I mean, I'm talking hundreds of hours of footage that we shot there. That's why before I was asking, like, do you have to film? Like, do you have to get permission to film at the store? Like,
right.
I saw that sign last night. I was like, oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because it was like permission to film.
Yep.
And then I think once Dice started like in the late 2000s, then like they were like, oh, we could do our own sort of show.
Sure.
And that's when like the Minding the Store thing kind of came about, which they kind of fucked it all up. But
yeah, that was like on TBS or something, right?
Yeah. TBS.
I saw some clips of it, and it was
Yeah, it was a real like
it was like an
reality
attempt at a
show
reality.
of like it was like Below Deck,
right?
But for fucking the Comedy Store, which is what it shouldn't have been.
Yeah,
it was terrible. But it was like everyone thought that was gonna like blow up the store again.
Sure,
and it didn't. It didn't until Rogan came back.
Yeah.
So I mean, we kind of. It was awesome because we could do it. We were definitely free to fail, and we did often.
That's a luxury. It's a luxury sometimes when there are no eyes, even though it's frustrating. You're like, there's nobody watching, but then you're like, there's nobody watching, and then you just get a kind of.
Yep.
That's what I love about the late night spots at the store.
Yeah, they really are
it's
still
pure experimentation, and
you
still never know who's going to come in. Even last night. I was scheduled. I had a great spot last night. I was scheduled to go on at 10:45. Leslie Jones popped in. Mm-hmm. She went on before me, then brought me up, and then I brought up Stephen Fury, and then Fury brought up Dave Chappelle.
Perfect.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's
still got that.
It's still got that. Like anybody could show up at any moment.
Is 10:45? What time's the last spot now? 11.
The last spot's like 11:30 or 11:45. I think.
Okay, it is a little shorter.
Dude, it used to go so late.
It is a little shorter.
I used to get scheduled in the OR at like 1:15.
Oh yeah. They would schedule to like 1:45. I think
Dawn would go on around 1:30 or 1:45.
In the magic world that everything worked exactly on time and the show would end perfectly at 2:00 in the morning.
I remember standing and watching the sun come up multiple times. In the store's parking lot.
Yeah, because I just finished the Barris Kennedy Overdrive. I just finished playing air drums with Don.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so while you're on saxophone,
open.
It's crazy.
Right.
But that was like, I think part of that was going back to the inmates ran the asylum much more heavily then.
There's like, no corporate.
Richie worked there then, but like he didn't have, like we were like, fuck you, Richie.
I know. It was definitely.
I'm still a little bit like, what? Fuck you, Richie. That's why with Tommy, with me, I was like, I knew where the bodies were buried. Like Tommy controlled a lot of people's careers and stuff and gave people spots. But I was like, dude, you can't tell me what I know a lot of shit about you.
Right.
You openly dropped the N-word in front of me, left and right.
Yeah.
Crafty Ends, which is a great fantasy football name.
It's great.
Proud Boys Fantasy Football League presents the Crafty Ends. No, it's.
I love that he repeated Crafty in that story.
As if that was the only ones that
issue.
could do it too. The crafty ones. I mean, he was one of a kind, dude. Wow. He used to tuck his hair. Wow. Looked like Tom Petty. Wow. All right. My favorite part, was he basically, it was like in his mind, he had made like D'Elia and Whitney, because he had already made Caparillo. Like he felt like that was my hand doing, and then.
Well, that was, I remember I wasn't past yet back then when he used to give those double spots to Caparillo, and people would be pissed.
Dude, he would give double spots in 2 rooms.
So this is how. So in a typical lineup, a new comic comes up every 15 minutes at the Comedy Store. This old town coordinator liked this one comic so much, he would give him 2 back-to-back 15-minute spots, and the comics would just be infuriated.
Yeah, and not only would he do it, but he would do it even on the Friday and Saturday, the only 2 nights where both rooms happened to be open. So he would do it to both rooms. So he would have an hour of, like, basically he was taking 3 spots away.
Yes, for one person.
For one person.
Not to
that
mention,
he could have given to 3 other people, paid them, given them money.
Yeah.
Whatever the money was, is not great, but also those are great nights for, like, those are the nights you're like, there's people here. I could actually see
of
what's
course.
like. It's fun to try and work and be crazy and be, but it's like sometimes you're like, I want to know how good I am.
I want a lights out performance.
So those were the nights to do it.
Yeah.
And he fucking, that's what made people sort of like be like, this guy is like, we felt like Mitzi was the wizard and he was like, out there trying to trick us and stuff,
Not to mention just the flow of a show. If they're trained for 15, 15, 15, 15, and then a 30 comes, it changes the whole dynamic of the lineup, because that next comic is like trying to scramble to reset things.
Look, I'll be honest, but when I first got there, Charles Fleischer used to get back-to-back half hours in the OR, right?
Charles Fleischer is the voice of Roger Rabbit.
Now, to the credit, not anyone's credit, no one deserved a half-hour spots, but he was really the only kind of name on the lineup, and especially in the original room, because the rest of the people were literally people that worked for Mitzi. Like her hairdresser, Lemaire, like who did her hair.
Was it paid regular?
Was a paid regular. La Boca. Like people that cleaned that drove her around.
Are there names on the wall?
Yes, they're on the wall. Yeah. Like people that drove her around got spots. So like it was like he wasn't taking a spot away from someone who was like really needed it developing. Like she was giving out spots to crazy people. So it's like, well, at least he's a comic.
And this is when obviously she started to,
Yes. Yeah. Like we're done. Like you'll notice if you go back and look at those old lineups, they're in alphabetical order.
What?
Yeah. Go back and look at them, because the list was alphabetical order. Right, the avails list of every paid regular.
Right. So she would just do
Duncan would literally take the list like day by day and go, all right, Tuesday, and he'd go, all right, look where we go. Ahmed, yes. Aaron Cater, yes. Argus Hamilton, yes. So Aaron Cater, 9:00,
all the
9:15, and it went down. Beaumont Bacon, then it would literally.
That's infuriating.
Now, if there was let's say fucking. What's his name came back? Paul Rodriguez, right?
Right.
Put him at 10:30, right? Mm-hmm. But then it would be right back to like, or like Duncan would say like, because it would be like 10:00 and she'd still be in like the C's.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, oh, Paul Rodriguez called in for that. All right, make him 10:30, and then you'd be back to the fucking things again.
That's insane.
Crazy. So that's what it was.
And Steve Rannazzisi is pretty low in the alphabet.
Well, thank God by the time, I mean, I didn't get passed for what felt like forever.
Yeah.
But
how many times showcasing and stuff like that?
Probably 20 official, I would say. 20 official, a couple non-sanctioned.
And how often were you showcasing? Like,
well, in the beginning, I was like, oh, let me get up every time I can, because I thought I was getting better and better, but then I realized I was like, oh, I don't think I'm giving her what she's looking for yet.
Yeah.
She's looking for something different. Mm-hmm. Whatever that is. I think it was just me becoming more natural and comfortable on stage with not having to do great every time. Mm-hmm. But whenever and then it became a game.
Of course.
And then it became a thing where like one time we went on the road to open for Paulie, and she ended up showing up
to check on you.
So me, Ari, and Steve Simone had not been passed. So, and we had all, like, at this point, like, Ari and I were hosting the open mic on Sundays and Mondays. Like, he would host Sunday and I would host Monday.
Yeah.
And it was like, that was like what most people wanted, like 4 hours of stand-up spots where you can kind of control it. You were in charge. So, like, paid regulars were jealous of us. But we were like, we're not even fucking paid regulars. So we were, like, very upset. And so Paulie took us. He goes, hey, you guys want to come open for me at this casino in Indio? I think it was... His sisters had a room in one of these casinos in Indio. And so we were like, yeah, sure. So we go down. He got us one hotel room, for whatever. We'll split it. And so we get to the gig, and we're all excited. There's a good crowd out there, right? So Simone was going to go, and then Ari was going to go, and then I was going to go, and then Paulie was going to go. Great. So Paulie goes, oh, great. Good news, guys. My mom's in the back. And we were like, what? He's like, yeah, bro, my mom's in the back. This is great. This is how Bobby got passed. And I go, what do you mean? And he tells us Bobby Lee opened for him in Vegas, and Mitzi saw him, and she fucking loved him, and she passed him, right? So we were like, but I'm like, dude, I don't really know. Like, she kind of saw us like maybe 2 weeks ago. Like, I don't really, I wish you had told us. I wouldn't have said, like, that was the vibe all three of us had. Yeah. We were like very, very nervous. This went from being super fun and really exciting to like, fuck.
Extremely stressful right away.
Simone's like, fuck. He's walking around sweating.
I don't know, buddies. I don't know.
I just gotta move back to Philly and open a sandwich shop. Right? So he goes out, murders, right? Ari goes out, crushes, right? I go out, do great, right? Paulie goes out, great show. We're each coming off like, when Simone came off, we're like, fuck, yes, good job, dude. Yeah. Good fucking job. All right.
You did it.
And then each one, Ari came off, he's like, fuck, he's like, that felt good. I think I did it.
I know it's pretty good.
You fucking killed. I came off, they were like, that was great. I don't know what we're gonna do. So Paulie comes off, right? And he's like, all right, guys, we're hanging out in the back. And then Shelly, who was sort of a manager here at the time and who brought Mitzi down, she comes backstage. She goes, hey, guys, great show and everything. She's like, Mitzi wants to see you guys. We were like, okay, great. We're like, this is it. Like, we feel like Tommy and Goodfellas. We're going to get made. Yeah. Right? We're going to get our fucking buttons. We'll be able to park. Mm-hmm. We get some fucking respect.
Name on the wall, spots
Nobody
every
can
week.
shoot us in the head. Yeah. Right? We're with a crew now. So we go to the back. She's in a booth, right? She's in the what would be too much uncomfortable for someone to sit next to her on one side, right? Mm-hmm. And Paulie sits right on the edge here and doesn't move in, right? So we're kind of standing there, and she goes, sit down. So we're like, so we sat on the floor in front of her, right? Like literally like children. And she didn't say a word, right? So I stupidly was like, so Mitz, what'd you think? Like, I was like almost like how could you deny
what you just saw?
Killer fucking show, right? Who the fuck do you guys think you are? Opening on the road? Who said you guys were good enough to open on the road? And we were like, what? I was so stunned. I wanted to be like, fucking Paulie. Your son that asked us to come here.
He asked us to be here.
Oh, you guys think you're fucking hot shots? You're not hot shots. I didn't even make you. You couldn't even. You're not even belly room comics yet. Oh, and just fucking blistered us, dude. Crushed us.
Hearts on the ground.
Ground, dude. Like bad.
The biggest high to the biggest low immediately.
Crushed us. All three of us gut wrenched. Right? Get me out of here. Fucking left. Right? We go back to the hotel room, right? We were like, what the fuck? What? Like, we couldn't even wrap our heads around. We were like, so just like, fuck this. Like, were we set up?
Yeah.
Like, it felt like what the fuck? How did we get here? And we just drove home. We were going to like go out. Like, we had plans to like use the $50 to go gamble and maybe get some like fucking buffet. We just drove in silence and hatred back to the fucking LA. And not one of us got a spot for like 3 or 4 weeks. Not one of us. Just on the bench.
Paulie didn't put in a word or anything?
Paulie sat there just like, yo, bros. dude, sometimes it doesn't go great, like sometimes you never know. Like, my mom's like a thing. Like, it's got to be the time, bro. And if it's not the time, then it's like, what are you going to do, man? And so it's like, just chill and like keep doing what you're doing. It's all good. I got some puss to get, so I got to run. But, and you're like, what the fuck?
Just twisting the blade over and over.
Yeah, dude. It was like, yes. It was like going from winning the Super Bowl to literally being like, you're not even a fucking in the league.
Yeah.
It was devastating.
You're not even allowed to play rec right now.
That was like probably 2005 or something like that. Somewhere around there. I feel like somewhere around there.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, we had individually each had successes already. Like, beyond, like, both in stand-up, like, already done a ton of commercials. I had done some TV stuff already. Like, we were all good comics. Not great comics, but good comics. Mm-hmm. Good enough to be able to continue to work in a more, but it was just like,
That's heartbreaking.
It was heartbreaking, but that's, like, I don't know. Like, that's literally why when that woman died, I was like, I had so many crazy feelings. And part of it was like, whatever the torture recipe, that you came up with, whatever the cake that was everyone sort of came out the right way, Mm-hmm. I don't know if it had anything to do with that, but
did that shape you in a positive? Do you look back on that and you're like, that was a moment that shaped me in a positive direction that like fueled you? Do you think, or do you think that it was like?
I think it. In a weird way. Look, I don't know if it was like you're a paid regular now, and I would have like been like, all right, well now I just won't really care that more, concentrate that much anymore. It could have been like a thing where I'm like, well, I got that checked off the list, so I'm gonna continue just to act and not really do this thing. It was like, Or she might have been like, that was sort of the time where it's like a lot of comics were super funny and looked really polished. Like, I mean, I could name like there were like guys like Dane Cook and guys like that were like super polished and like really like they looked like pros. They looked like they just crushed every time. They were almost like undefeatable. And I think there was something about that bothered her. Whether it was because she didn't make that herself, as far as like, I'm just saying like with Dane and stuff. Yeah. Or it was like, there's a recipe to get there that she doesn't think that those kind of guys did, that she doesn't want to see me do to her, or something like that, Like, Dice had that kind of persona where it was like, I'm the best ever, but it was like, I think she saw the vulnerability of how long it took to get there. And so she knew that that's who he was. There was the genuine sort of, he was going to be okay. Whereas like, if you kind of rush it and kind of get that invulnerability feeling before you have it, then you just are sort of, you're going to crumble at some point. Things aren't going to go your way. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Tommy said that like, because he tortured me for years of like dangling the carrot, and he ended up never passing me. I got passed through Adam Egget after Tommy had left. But he always told me.
I mean, yeah.
After he got escorted out.
I know.
Yeah.
Did Ray Rice leave the NFL or what's
I guess I polited it up a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah. He always dangled that carrot in front of me to the point where it was like obviously so frustrating, like it is for other comics. And even when I saw Tommy after, because I saw him, I did a show at a theater that he had somebody book for him where he was the opening guitar act in a little theater off Sunset Boulevard. I did one of the shows. I was like, I got to see this. Yeah. I haven't seen Tommy in a while. It was like 6 months or whatever after he got fired. Mm-hmm. And I went and he was playing guitar, opening the show. And he told me after the show, he's like, you were next. I was always going to pass you. You were on the list. I was like, how much of this is real though?
I don't know.
I think it was to a certain extent.
I'm sure part of it is. Yeah.
It was certain to an extent. Yeah. I felt like I was getting close. Like he had told me whatever. But he told me like that my big breakthrough that he saw was when a late night set, when I was so frustrated that I stopped doing act outs and I sat down on the stool and I was almost having a meltdown. He goes, that's when I saw it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when I saw the layers of you.
Yes. I think Tommy fancied him like Mitzi to be like, there's some sort of torture I have to put you through.
Right.
But I think Mitzi's sort of, I mean, I don't know if she knew what it was, but she had a better track record, let's just say, than he did in trying this approach.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was like, he forgets. Like, he forgot. I would have told him, like Mitzi tortured Cap for a while. A long time. Mm-hmm. He didn't get along with certain comics. She would put him before him. They'd have to go back to back. Like there's a way
purposely to make them introduce the other comic.
Introduce them to failure and hard times and a little bit of rather than just give them everything they want.
Sure.
Because yes, it's going to make them look like they're getting better and they're going to probably kill more, but along the way, are you preparing them for like when shit goes wrong? Because let me tell you, shit will go wrong.
Oh yeah.
Shit goes wrong in everyone's career, in my career, Ari's career, everyone's career. Shit will at some point not go your way. And if you just kind of can't deal with it, or you go, I don't know what to do, then it, maybe was the lesson we all took out of it. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to be made actually undefeatable rather than have the possibility of like,
or at least know that you're not undefeatable, that no one is undefeatable, that everybody's got a little bit of vulnerability, but it's going to happen to you.
Right.
And how are you going to deal with it?
Yeah.
And are you going to be okay with being who you are on the other side?
Sure.
If killing and all the fucking bravado, it defines who you are, then it's going to be a problem because it's not always going to be there.
Right.
No one's ever going to be that thing the whole time.
You can't stay on top wherever you're at.
You don't want
in any career.
It doesn't. Some people make it look effortless, I feel like, but those are different. Like there are people that are just like born to be, the absolute best in whatever field they're in. But like for the most part, it is hard to continue to do the thing you have to do to be the best you can do it. Mm-hmm. So you just have to find a speed and a level that you are happy with, that you can maintain, and that makes you like, oh, I'm content in this area. I'm content with my personal life. I'm content with who I am as a person. I don't have to be everything all the time.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's who I can be. I don't have to be the guy that just fucking kills every time on stage and is the number one thing. I don't have to be away from my family all the time. I can be different parts.
Right. The balance.
Maybe, dude. Did I just talk a lot?
You did, but it was actually very I enjoyed it a lot.
Edit that out. Can we beep that out? Can we bleep that last part?
Well, I got to bleep a couple things.
We do have some bleeps this episode.
There are a couple bleeps this episode.
This episode is brought to you by Bleep.com. Mm-hmm. If you've said some stuff that you don't like, Bleep.com's the place for you. Bleep it out. We'll bleep the out of it.
Use promo code at Bleep.com.
That's Bleep.com.
And go your mother at Bleep.com.
Don't forget.
Bleep.com, the only true American website. Bleep.com.
Oh, what I wouldn't give.
You ever sing? You ever?
I've come to arrive it wealthily in Padua.
Wow.
I did a little musical theater.
Oh my goodness.
I played Sky Masterson in Guys and Dolls. Why? Because much like Sinatra, you just got to sell the song on that. You really don't have to. Luck be a lady tonight. You don't have to. You don't have to Josh Grove. Luck be. You don't have to hit everything.
Right.
You can kind of fucking.
Kind of just sit in the pocket with it.
Yeah. Like fucking George Clooney could do that. George Clooney could play Sky Masterson and kind of, even though he may not be able to sing, you're like, that's it. That's what I could do.
Yeah.
But I also have probably, I also have probably the best falsetto in the history of musical theater or music at all.
Really?
You remain the light from the dark side of me. I mean, I believe in a thing called love, just a little rhythm of my heart. Ooh,
I believe in a thing called love. That.
Yeah. Just a little rhythm of my heart. I believe in a thing called love. I mean.
Hello.
There are. Ooh.
Oh. Yeah. Oh. 'cause falsettos are the best place to be. When I became a man, I inhabited every square space of this land. Oh, Steve Rannazzisi. Ooh, Steve Rannazzisi. Take it, Steve. That was beautiful.
Let's bleep that out too.
Okay. Our final segment. I'm going to have you back for all the segments that I usually do.
We haven't done any segments yet.
I know we haven't done any segments.
I'll come back whenever you will have me.
Dude, absolutely.
And like I said, I'm in New York, so if you ever I need to stand up on the spot.
Oh, yeah.
Bingo, dude.
Bingo bongo.
I'll come down there. We'll riff it around down there. I love going to New York Comedy Club, and it's awesome. So,
dude, heck
anytime, dude.
This final segment is called Sax Talk. Oh, Sax Talk.
I was 16 years old, and I was with my first girlfriend, and we had just realized the wonderful art of lovemaking. We were in her basement, and we had started the act of making out when she slipped a condom into my hand and said, "Please put this on." I stumbled around with it for a little bit, but I eventually got it on, and then I asked her if it was okay, and I placed myself inside of her. But about 14 seconds later, I immediately orgasmed, and while I was doing that, her twin brother came downstairs and walked in the door. And, happy from the orgasm, unhappy from the sight of her twin brother staring at me and her yelling, things got a little wild with yelling and screaming and people saying, this isn't what you think it is. But it was. So I pulled out, took the condom off, threw it away, explained to her brother, "Hey, I think you should hear it from me first. I'm having sex with your sister." And believe it or not, we made love 3 more times that day. So joke's on you, buddy. That was Sax Talk. Dude, I always knew what that story was missing.
A little bit of sax. Sometimes sax just sells something.
Dude, Sax sells all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Sax has never ruined anything for me.
Nope. Just enhanced it. Think about all the memories in your life that could have been Sax in some of those situations. Could have spruced it up a little bit.
I was in a van on the way from the Bonnaroo Music Festival to the hotel with the cast of The League. We had just done a show with other artists in the band. It was a 12-person van. The guy in the front seat was very quiet. We asked him, what do you do? And he says, I am the guy who does... Yes. And we go, prove it. He literally... Yep. Oh, and we fucking die, dude. So that's a perfect scenario where Sax just made what was already a great time. How could this get better? Boom. Saxified.
And this episode has been Rannazzisi. Dude, thank you so much for coming on. Where can people find you? I know you're on tour right now. They can go to SteveRannazzisi.com.
SteveRannazzisi.com. That's where all the tickets and all the places I'll be. Denver next weekend. Long Island, I'm doing a benefit for my son's baseball team. I'm going to Virginia. I'm going to Philly. I'm going to, I just did Washington, D.C., the D.C. Loft. So all the tickets are on SteveRannazzisi.com. Steve Rannazzisi, at Steve Rannazzisi on Instagram.
Heck yeah, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Love you, man. Thank you so much for doing the show.
Thank you.
And look out for Steve in a few episodes now on Stand Up on the Spot. He crushes
can't wait.
it. Yeah.